Welcome everyone to a casted game for Age of Empires 4, and today spawning in on the west side of the map, playing in blue, we've got beastyqt playing as not the Chinese, but the Vietnamese. And his opponent in the east side of the map playing in red, we've got Sormeon playing as the Ayyubids. Welcome everyone to Dry Arabia. Now I know what you're thinking. It says Chinese there, but I guarantee you it's not. It's actually a custom mod developed by some incredibly gifted modders in the community, and well, hang on a minute, a villager going across the map already for Beasty, so there's lots of things to talk about, and we're going to have to cut to the chase because of clearly massive amount of action already. Villagers, one villager to be fair, going across the map for Beasty, and also sending a worker elephant, exactly. It's an interesting unit for sure. It's a unit that can be trained in the mill, and also in the town centre. It's a mobile universal resource drop-off point. Apparently weak in combat, but Beasty seems to not think that's the case. He's actually going to move right across the map with it. With the villager too. And I think he's going to waypoint right to the gold and the berries at the back. Now, the Ayyubids, of course, we don't need to introduce them, right? We've seen them time and time again. I won't focus on them too much. Maybe we talk about a little bit of strategy between the two civilizations, but of course, the main talking point will be the Vietnamese civilization. Now, you might be wondering, why does it say Chinese? Unfortunately, the modders aren't able to actually physically add a new civilization, so they kind of have to edit an existing one. But, great work by the modders. Hopefully this will, kind of take off and lots more modders will join the force, I guess, and keep making mods like this. Gonna try and get an outpost there, deletes it there, Beasty won't. Thing is, Sormeon is aware of this, right? So he's probably just get those torches out. Now, it's only one villager, and the elephant is only going to get there now, so he's got to be careful. He's actually going to torch that outpost down, and I say outpost, but it's actually called the hideout for the well, I was about to say Chinese, but it is the Vietnamese, of course. The Vietnamese with this outpost will actually give them an extra movement speed of infantry. Oh, he loses that there, Beasty. That was a bit rough. He loses the resources as well, so a bit of poking and prodding with the elephant on the villager. Thanks a lot, by the way, for the raid there. Appreciate it, Janissary. Thank you. Hope you had a good stream. That elephant can poke and prod those villagers and does still have the damage to the buildings. 20 plus damage as a bonus for buildings, but only 6 base damage, but still pretty decent as an opening unit. Now, of course, we're yet to see the landmarks. In fact, let's take a look at them now. We've got a choice of 2. We've got the Fomin Tower and also the 1-pillar pagoda. Now, the Fomin Tower I feel like is going to be the more popular. We shall see. Acts as a hideout with 6 garrison slots. Hideouts can now train all light infantry, include spearmen, archers, crossbowmen, and arquebusiers, I hope that's how you say it, but it takes 75% longer to actually make them. It's a pretty decent one. I mean, I guess you need that 75% longer training time to make it, a bit balanced. The 1-pillar pagoda acts as a mill that trains worker elephants at 50% discount, also provides access to 2 unique technologies, the elephant trainers and lumber carriages, which buff worker elephants. Now, of course, you don't know what those are actually going to be doing for those worker elephants, but maybe if he chooses it, we'll see. The Ayyubid's going to have to try and drag that village away. He does just about in time and saves them. It'll be pretty scandalous to lose a villager like that, actually, to be fair. But does take a bit of damage. Does have 175 health, but there's no armor on this guy. Absolutely no armor at all. So yeah, it is pretty weak in combat, to be fair. He's going to go for the Fomin Tower. It makes a lot of sense. I think this is probably going to be the more popular because these elephants look pretty underwhelming, and I'm not so sure you're going to need more than a couple. Because, you might need a worker elephant for your deer camp, potentially for your boar, but, once you've taken the deer camp, you just move this worker elephant around to your boar, right? So it's a curious one. Of course, you can't really use it too much in terms of aggression. Having said that, we don't know what the 2 unique techs are, right? I believe it's going to be build power, from what I remember. It increases the build speed of villagers, so you could potentially send a worker elephant forward, send some villagers as well, and just get a forward base or a forward keep pretty quickly. Also, maybe just get an extra age up to the next stage a lot quicker as well. Definitely an interesting civilization mechanic. Something else to talk about, by the way. The villagers and infantry can actually put down explosive traps. Now, I know what you're thinking. That must be crazy, and it probably is. Either way, nearby enemies will trigger it when they walk over it or whatever. And after 1 second it will explode, dealing 30 damage to all enemy units in the area. And the crazy thing is all enemy units, so it's got splash damage. Well, not splash, yeah, it's got radius of damage. It's pretty hefty. It can be built by villagers and light infantry alike, so I wouldn't be surprised to see in the late game. I mean, it's just a thought, right? You never really know, but you could spam this across the map and make it very difficult for your enemy to actually walk across and do damage. They always have to be a bit paranoid. Now, I don't know whether when your enemy attack moves, whether their units will attack it, like ranged units will attack it, or will they just ignore it. It makes a big difference, that mechanic or not. Either way, Desert Raider coming out for the Ayyubids, going for the military wing nice and early, snipes one of the worker elephants, unfortunately. I've got to say that foaming tower looks beautiful though. I'm not so sure if this is like an existing asset that's been used, but it looks really good. Now, it does actually have access to emplacements. One thing to bear in mind is that the hideouts, the regular outposts, for the Vietnamese do not, so they're a bit tricky. One thing to bear in mind, the outposts do actually give you an extra bit of speed. They've got speed aura on them. The houses actually increase the melee damage, or any damage actually, by 15% of all the units. So it's kind of like the Bannerman situation with the Japanese. It's 15% extra damage. If you put an outpost with it as well, then you get, within that area, you'll get you know, the extra movement speed as well. Now they're separate. You don't have to have them combined. But just giving an example, you know, you might be able to put an outpost and a house together, and it gives you both the movement speed and the attack. If you just want one of them, then, you know, if you just want the attack, just build a house. If you want the movement speed, just build the hideout. But definitely an interesting mechanic. Now you might be wondering, well, we haven't talked about eco bonuses, and yeah, for good reason. They don't really have any. I mean, I wouldn't say any. They don't have many. That's more appropriate to say, really. What they do have is they've got the terrace, the rice terrace. And it's actually bigger than a farm or a rice plot. It occupies a 3x3 space tile, but it also gathers 30% faster. Now, having said that, it is more expensive. It's 100 wood rather than your 75 wood. And the way that you can pay for that really is by upgrading the broad axe upgrades or the lumber upgrades. Instead of giving you an additional 15% gather, it gives you an additional 20% gather. So it's a 5% buff on the wood, really. It's not a lot, I gotta say. Compared to a lot of other civilizations, it's a bit underwhelming, it feels. But maybe it's balanced around the units. Maybe the units are cheaper, the specialized units anyway. From what I've tested so far, it doesn't feel like any of the existing units, like the spearmen, crossbowmen, they all look to be the same cost, which I think is an interesting thing to have, especially because you don't have much of an eco bonus. But I'm curious to see like some of the unique units coming out soon as well, potentially. Cool, might snipe out one villager here. That doesn't quite manage it. Now Beasty hasn't been able to really take out any sort of external sources of food. Of course, the Ayyubids have already been out to berries. Double outpost with one of them having arrow slits suggests that he's going for a fast castle here. In fact, he is. He's going to go for growth, as you'd expect. So it's the typical miniature wing into growth for the Ayyubids. And the Vietnamese are going to go for the resistance headquarters for the castle age. It's going to be acting as a town centre, and nearby villages and traders are stealthified. That's a word I like to say on this channel. We're going to keep it, even though it doesn't say that on the tooltip. It doesn't matter. We're going to call it stealthified. But I guess it's kind of similar to the King's Palace, right? In many ways for the English. But yeah, additionally they are stealthed, I guess. Which is kind of cool. That keeps the economy a little bit more safer and secure. Now, I guess it makes a lot of sense in terms of the grand context of the game to get that second town centre, because it needs something to counteract what the strategy is from the Ayyubids. Ayyubids going for the tech advantage, Beasty going for the eco advantage in this way, but adding it as a castle age landmark obviously is going to be a bit more of a delayment before that really comes into full effect and full force. We have to see. There's going to be the lumber camp now, and maybe he's going to need a farming transition before too long, unless he moves out to the deer camp, but he did lose his worker elephant pretty early. So the worker elephant going forward and aggressive doesn't seem to work too well. It just, yeah, it does actually seem pretty weak, to be fair, as a miniature unit, as a tooltip did suggest. And there's the broad axe there. The improved broad axe, I guess, in a way. And a couple of archers here. So the ranged attack damage bonus by 15%. That's because of the radius of the house. It's pretty decent radius as well. It's not too small. But behind this, the second TC, it looks like it's going to go for the castle age as well. By the way, it looks like it's going to be the kind of juicy legacy type landmarks, which I kind of like, right? Because it's a new civilization, so you get that new feeling to the Civ. That's going to be double stable out for the Ayyubids. Going to get those Camel Lancers thick and fast, and here they go across the field. Desert Raiders, though, for now. pretty well protected, right? Having this foaming tower protects the gold in a nice spot. I guess in a way it's kind of cool because you've got the ability to just ignore outposts or not needing outposts in your gold vein. You just get one of these and you should be safe and secure. You can get textiles as well. Probably a bit paranoid about being raided, understandably so, with Camel Lancers possibly on the card soon. One thing that's a bit of a concern for Beasty is that he's so tied up at home with the Vietnamese that, you know, the Ayyubids are probably going to get quite a few of those relics. Oh, Desert Raiders. Gonna try and snipe. Oh, one thing to bear in mind, these guys, they've got poison arrows in the town center. It's actually really nice as a buffing for that, for defensive capabilities. So the poison arrow will leave that lasting damage. For a few seconds at least. So it does have access to, you know, your usual spearmen, your usual man-at-arms. It does have a nice, unique upgrade though for those spearmen called Anam Fire Lancers. Spearmen and, I think it's probably a type of that, but spearmen gain a fire lance when charging and bracing, which also adds a 20% torch damage. So it feels like it's like a cross between the fire lancers, obviously as a unit, and then also the 20% torch damage. It kind of gives you the idea of Adachi from the Japanese. The Adachi upgrade from the university from the Japanese increases the torch damage of their melee units by that same amount, actually, 20%. So this house will give the extra attack speed to any military units, and it does have the ability to make units from the outpost, by the way. And this is the first glimpse that we're going to get of the unique unit, the Zhaoji Arquebusier. Expensive hand cannoneer that deals area damage with each shot, but significantly less attack. That's pretty cool to see, I've got to say. Quite a few lancers diving in. This is a position that actually Beasty probably can't hold. It's looking a bit dodgy here for him, that's for sure. Does have a couple of units, but probably not enough to take this out. He's going to dive on in. Just going to get the repairs on the outpost to try and survive for as long as possible. The camel's going to say, yeah, they're really going to take down the elephant pretty quickly. All those villagers, they're getting decimated. There's no way out of this position, really. But he does have the poison arrow effect, actually, which is kind of nice to see. You can see it there, taking periodic damage. And 2 outposts are still living. Gonna poke and prod the Camel Lancers. Takes out one, possibly gonna take out another. To be fair, the villagers are gonna come out again, and he may be able to defend this location unless more units pop by, which they probably will. Now, by the way, these are the new types of farms, if you will, but for them it's going to be the rice terrace for the Vietnamese. Expensive farms that occupies a 3x3 space. Makes it a bit tricky to place them around mills and gather points, right? Oh, maybe I kind of like the idea of the worker elephant then, actually. Instead of mills, maybe it would be a bit more cost effective to get the worker elephants for efficiency purposes. Because then you could just dump the worker elephant like in the middle of like 4 farms and then they can gather. It'll be tricky though, for sure. Now I'd like to say a very big thank you for everyone who's been supporting the channel, whether it be Twitch or YouTube. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And what I would say is if you don't mind, if you're watching on YouTube and you've got a couple of seconds, just drop in the comment section below your favourite emoji. Really helps me out on the YouTube algorithm side of things. And if you're watching on Twitch these games today, guys, welcome on in. Welcome on in. How's it going, Simon? And probably Salty Guy. Welcome on in. So the outposts, unfortunately, they don't actually have any emplacements in them. They can't get them in these hideouts. The hideouts, they can make units though, as you can see. But they, because of the landmark, which one is it? Yeah, there's the Foaming Tower. This allows them to make the outposts have units trained in them. Otherwise, they couldn't usually. But it does make them, you know, train them. It has to be, unfortunately, 75% slower. So it's understandable, right? Those would be a bit overpowered because these are only 75 wood a pop. But he's really going for the deer camp. I'm not so sure he has enough here, Beasty. He's going to get caught by these archers potentially. They are veteran archers at that, so they should be able to snipe out villages pretty quickly. Now back at home, plenty of production. Looks like the Ayyubid is staying with one town centre, which is kind of cool because he's really going for it. Full pedal to the metal. He's going to build a ram on the front lines, which is going to be a bit difficult for Beasty to stop this push, I think. He's going to try to get the wall low, but didn't quite manage it. Picking up most of the relics, though. Picked up 3 so far, looking to pick up another. And he's able to take out all of these resources. So he's not needing a farming transition. Probably won't do for a long time. He's going about to dive on in Spear's Brace, but there's quite a few Camel Lancers, I've got to say. Veteran Archers pushing forward as well. So there's Veteran Archers. They should snipe out the Spearmen, making the Camel Lancers being able to roam freely. Villagers coming out to torch down the Rams. Now, we did get Textiles a little bit earlier, but he's going to lose a lot of those villagers. Sure, he might just about get the Ram, but maybe not even. He doesn't. That's rough. By the way, he has laid some traps. An explosive trap or two. But the Archers might focus fire on those. He loses the Elephant too. Yeah, he's got to escape here. Oh, will it detonate? It didn't detonate. Yeah, you have to walk right on top of it, I'm afraid. Oh, he nearly did. Sormeon. Holy smokes, that was close. Sormeon's in the chat. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Now, he's going to snag that Relic. So it's going to be a 5 Relic game for the Ayyubids. Yeah, but the Archers are actually torching that down. So it's got a decent hitbox on them. I think it shouldn't be too hard to select them. Now, but maybe something you can clarify, Sormeon, if you wouldn't mind. You know the Archers, when you attack, if you attack move, does it take down the trap? Or do you have to actually focus on them? Because I know that when you attack move with some units, it does focus on buildings. I'm kind of wondering if it's going to focus on the explosive traps. I think if it does, then it's not so bad. But if it doesn't, then it's kind of, well, you know, if you actually have to physically click on them, then it's kind of dodgy. Gonna go with the Manjanik. The Ayyubids putting some pressure, but the farming transition, I should say rice terrace transition, is pretty hefty here. But yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. Maybe, the thing is, the work elephants aren't cheap, right? 150 resources, whereas the mill is only 50. So scaling quite nicely, quickly, the mill is definitely going to be a bit easier to get these online, but longevity-wise, you might just want to get a pack of these farms and then drop down one of their elephants. Either way, here comes the Ram. Sormeon making some good progress here. Although behind all of this, Beasty, of course, did go to the castle age and went for the resistance headquarters, as we talked about, with that town centre. So he has scaled the villages, although he's lost a lot, right? He's lost 16 in total, so despite being 2 TC, he's actually behind on the village count, which is actually kind of rough. Bear in mind, the only eco bonuses that they get, of course, are the rice terrace and the kind of improved double broadaxe or lumber upgrade. Compare that to the Ayyubids that, you know, get the golden age is pretty nifty. 10% extra gathering for the villagers and 20% extra production speed. It does feel like the Vietnamese economy a little bit underwhelming. Especially because their unique unit isn't particularly cheap as I read from the tooltip. So yeah, it's not really 120 food, 40 wood, 80 gold. But it does have some splash damage, deals area damage. That feels like it could be bonkers. I'm kind of interested to see how that one actually pans out. But yeah, these farms, these rice terraces are big. Gonna dive. Oh, look at that wood line. The camel. Hello. Yeah, he's gonna. Oh god. Oh, Beasty. You gotta get out of here, my dude. The thing is, he body blocks so many. There's so many villagers gonna go down so quickly, and all he has to do is just run out of here, right? Oh, he's not gonna run out. Oh, that could be a dive that maybe doesn't want to do, because there's a lot of units here from Beasty, right? He's killed a lot of villagers. Oh, he's gonna lose everything. Oh, that's rough. That is rough. Diving in like that. Oh god, he's gonna lose a couple. The trouble is, there's no escape here from the north, right? That's unfortunate. Like, that went from, like, absolutely amazing to almost a bit rough. But he's still going to lose more villages. Oh, god, that's a big pick-off with those Camel Lancers charging on in with the Veteran Archers behind them. I mean, the good thing for Beasty, in a way, is that he did just take out a lot of army, but he is so far behind the villager count right now. So he's definitely going to have to see this game to the late game. He's going to have to delay this for as long as possible. But it does give a window of opportunity for Sormeon to dish out all sorts of damage. I mean, overall, in that fight, it probably was still favourable for Sormeon, but it was a bit rough to lose that army. But it happens. It can happen. He possibly thought he could get more value. I couldn't blame him. A good number of crossbows will do all sorts of damage to the Camel Lancers, bracing of those spearmen. But Camel Lancers coming from the south of Sormeon, trying to jump on top of those crossbowmen, which if he can get close enough could dish out damage, but there's so many of them that he has enough to, he has enough to one-shot these even. So it's a bit rough for those Camel Lancers. Veteran Archers, this is the issue. It's the micro. He's focusing on the man-at-arms, but really he needed to be focusing on the crossbows ideally. But it's tricky, right? There's just so much going on, and I'm sure he's trying to macro behind this as well. with the house placed there for Beasty. This is a big deal, right? This is exactly what he needs. It's an extra 15% damage output for these units. And he's also going to get the movement speed with his hideout pretty soon. He's going to look to start getting those sacred sites. Already 5 relics. That could be a win condition, actually. I would love to see Sormeon actually look to get those sacred sites. Because what it does, it forces Beasty to have to commit units. Even if it's 1 or 2 units, it's still something that Beasty will have to venture out to. Going to build a Manjanik on the front line to help deal with those crossbowmen. Love that thought. Oh, let's see, what's all this about? Shrapnel bombs. Increases the damage of explosive traps by 30%. Refined powder. Increase the range and blast radius of explosive traps. Okay, so that's kind of cool to see. Might see that later in the game. Potentially we shall see. But it's extending the house network. That extra attack. But yeah, I think Beasty probably needs to just hold the fort, right? He's dishing out damage, trying to poke and prod the bear. But Sormeon, he's definitely got an advantage in terms of military and economy. So he's in a good spot. And he's pumping units here. Look how many production buildings he's got. Bear in mind the House of Wisdom, the ages or the tiers, giving him an extra 20% production speed as well. So we've got the sacred site in the middle. Probably needs to just venture out the one on the north and the south. Bit sad not to see them capped by now. He has been focusing on the relics though. It was a cracking game. Now what I would like to say is do drop your feedback about the Civilization in the comment section below. Because obviously, the modders have worked really hard making this, so big shout out to them. It's a big deal actually for the community that these sort of things happen. It really spices up the game, and if you want to play this Civilization, what you have to do is you have to download the tuning pack for Japanese, and then you've got to select Chinese in the custom lobbies, and then select the tuning pack, of course, for Vietnamese. Give it a go, test it out with your friends, see what you think, play around with it. And make sure you drop your feedback in the comment section below, and I'll try and pass it on to the creator. But I love to see stuff like this, because in most RTS games, it really is about modding community, making sure that the game stays fresh, that there's options for casual gamers, and you never know, even developers might be paying attention to the Civ and the modding work that's going on and get some ideas, maybe some inspiration. I really love the work at Elephant part, the fact that it's a universal drop-off and it's mobile. I really like that. I'm a bit surprised to see nothing like that in the game already, actually. Quite a cool idea. Alright, Sormeon just building a couple of units on the front there. A couple of villages could go out to Deer. He's got the mill already operational. Going for the siege, right? We're kind of heading to that 23 minute of the game, and I wonder if he's going to go forward keep. He's got 900 stone here, Sormeon. It's always an option for him. The trouble is for Sormeon, right, is Beasty is technically on 2 town centers, so he is recovering, right, as time goes on. And I think this is kind of a tricky situation, right? Not going a second town center at the back of this, it means that he's on a timer. Like, he has to do damage. He has to win the game in the next 10 minutes. If he doesn't, he kind of loses. Because eco will start to kick in. Looks like maybe Beasty opting for that Imperial Age pretty soon. And maybe Sormeon as well. Now, Tower of the Sultan, of course, there for the Ayyubids. I don't think they have any unique siege themselves here, the Vietnamese. I'm very curious to see what Beast is going to opt for the Imperial Age landmark, right? He's almost there, just needs a couple more gold, 200 more gold or so, and he should be on his way. Yeah, but looks like he's making sure that sacred site doesn't get capped. As more of the rice terrace gets built. Alright, so he's going to go with the Imperial Garden. Interesting landmark to have chosen. Produces the powerful rocket elephant. To be fair, of the 2 landmarks, I can't quite remember off the top of my head what the other one does. But this one definitely feels like the one to go for. Now, you can make a rocket elephant. Just let that sink in, a rocket elephant. And you can choose it to train for free in 120 seconds, or pay the full price to train it in 20. The choice is yours. But I'm super excited to see that unit for sure. Now, this is a lot of springles for Beasty. This is where actually things can turn very quickly. Wait, what's going on in the back? Is he raiding it? Wait, what? Is he? Oh, is he trying to? Is he? Okay, he's raiding with spearmen, but I just thought for a second he might be going for that little cheeky approach by setting those traps, those little explosive traps. That'd be pretty fun to see. But yeah, on that thought, this is where things get a bit dicey in terms of siege fights. It's all about how many springles you have, ultimately, because And that's kind of always the last... it's like the... I think it's like the lowest common denominator. Right? It's the thing that matters the most in those siege fights. Like if you lose your springles and your enemy's got them, you lose all your siege. So these mangonels will go down very quickly if he loses these 2 springles, which he probably will, because it's 4 springles. So if he marks... I mean, obviously, Beasty just needs to take 2 springles to focus on each springle and it's done. He might even lose mangonels anyway. Or Manjanik, oh, this is costly. He's not paying attention. And they weren't deployed. He's losing... Okay, he lost them all for free. Didn't need to lose the springles first. Unfortunately, he's probably doing something else in the back of his base, and he unfortunately going to lose all that siege so quickly. Beasty snipes all for the price of just 1 springald. He just sniped out a springald and 3 Manjanik for the price of 1 springald. That's absolutely huge. But he does get that forward keep. We're kind of expected to see that, and that's exactly what's happening here. Does give him a nice staging ground to attack from. Maybe some trebuchets could pop out soon for Sormeon. We'll have to see. Kind of struggling on the goal point of view though, right? Now Beasty, he actually has a significant villager lead despite having lost, what, exactly? No, just a bit more than double the villagers. Now we are having a hard transition to farms as well for Sormeon. Yeah, exactly. The elephants have rockets. Alright, villagers out to get the siege workshops. I like this play, by the way. It's quite nice to see this in Age of Empires 4 as well. If you guys know, my background was in Age of Empires 2, and it's very typically a thing done in that game as well. Get your forward position and get some siege. But I've got to say, Beasty does look in a good spot now, right? He's caught up in village count, and he's going to translate that into a massive military. But let's take a look what he's got. He's got crossbows, he's got spearmen, which he's had all the games so far. He's got man-at-arms. And, oh, this is the special unit. This is the Zhaoji Arquebusier. I don't know if I said that properly, and I said it French. I don't know why. When they're Vietnamese, don't at me, guys. Don't at me. Either way, taking the fight now. The spearmen charging on through. Those archers need to back away. For Sormeon, he's getting pushed back hard. I mean, the trouble is those are Zhaoji. I think we're just going to call them Zhaoji, okay? I can't do the second word, damn it. But we're going to call them Zhaoji. Now, they do apparently have splash damage. That's kind of crazy. So they're great in large masses, which he's looking to get. It's a bit dicey, right? But the kind of crazy thing about the Vietnamese in the late game, it feels like they've got a lot of units with splash damage, right? They've got the rocket elephant, which is like, look at that, look at the HP on that guy. And he's got 36 damage, plus 40 against building, and he's got the 80 cannon damage for the rockets, right? Jeez, that's good. What? A plus 110 versus infantry and cavalry? I mean, that's one-shotting everything, right? Is that not one-shotting like everything? That's disgusting. Like, you got... Guys, come on. You got 80 cannon damage, and you got 180, so it's 190 damage. Okay, it doesn't quite one-shot a Camel Lancer. Almost. Almost. But still, come on. That's pretty sick. That's pretty sick. Oh, he's going for the traps. And will he fall for the trap, Sormeon? We'll have to see. He dives on in. Does pick off 1 springle. Nice play there, but he loses 2. Yikes. Oh, Magic deploys, but loses that instantaneously. Spearman brace against the Camel Lancers. There's Zhaoji behind them. Crossbows archers there for Sormeon. Moving on forward, but there's a Mangonel. No, 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 no. Oh, massive shot there. And the rocket elephant popping forward as well. Oh, my God. Oh, God, that Mangonel shot. He loses the Mangonel in the end, but definitely got the money's worth. Wait, Beasty, he's building the trap. He's laying the traps. And that rocket elephant. Oh, God, that's amazing. I mean, it's such a cool idea, though. He's going to go back into the... Bear in mind, he didn't actually have the house buffering that whole time. It didn't really matter in the end, because the Mangonel got a crazy shot. Beautiful. And this is the concern now, right? Because Sormeon was playing that sort of, not, I wouldn't say all in, but it kind of is. It's like a medium all in, being 1 TC versus the 2 TC. And now all of a sudden he's cut his position. He's going to lose it, really. He's quite likely he's going to lose his forward position. So it's tricky now. He's going to need to try and stabilize and find an answer to this. In all honesty, this is such a crazy army composition. Spearmen, crossbowmen, rocket elephants, springhorns. Not too sure what you do about this. They've got the Zhaoji added in for good measure too. Now, bear in mind, let's take a look at the barracks, blacksmith rather. So one thing to bear in mind, I don't think if he saw this. Oh, he did. He got the extra damage, or the extra ranged armor. There was the Rattan Archer, which gives him an extra armor. So his ranged units will have an extra ranged armor than you'd expect. Guys, did you just see that? He just sniped out 2 camels. I mean, ultimately, these things, they're doing so much damage, and they've got, I think they've got splash damage as well, which is kind of crazy. Either way, it looks like Sormeon is going to be losing a lot of his siege. Still one more Springald, takes the Manganic out, and oh, these Springalds, oh, he must have misclicked this. He's supposed to click on the Springald, and he didn't. He loses it. He needs the elephants now to do their work, and I think Sormeon's going to be put in a really bad spot here. He's got to keep to defend this location, getting gold from here. Beasty, so gold income pretty secure for now, and I think he just ignores this, to be honest. Because the thing is, it's only protecting the woodlot. I think Beasty just ignores this. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. He's pushing forward. He's going to extend his reach. Going to get houses. Going to get some outposts, or hideouts, I should say. I would have thought. But he's focusing on the houses, really, for the extra attack. But he's laying traps. Slowly but surely, he's pushing with the trebuchets, but it's not quick enough, I don't think. Sormeon now does get to the Imperial Age. Went with the culture wing. Guys, oh, look at... Can I just say the explosions look amazing? Jeez, that is a crazy unit. Now, bear in mind, you can get one of these for free every 2 minutes. You can train them. They're pretty expensive, but you can train them in 20 seconds if you like. 400 food, 600 gold. Takes 4 population, which is, I think, fair. It's a crazy landmark, the Imperial Garden. Oh, there's the rocket elephant pushing on forward. Manganic deploys, but he focused on the elephant, not the spearman. Now he's going to lose the Manganic most likely. He's going to lose trebuchets as well. Either way, this is going to be cleared up, but the bigger problem here is here. Look at this, Beasty sending his army forward, and these rocket elephants. He's sniping so much of the camels. So yeah, we just saw one shot on the camel, didn't quite take it out, but did a lot of damage. And oh god, those archers. Guys, they're getting absolutely decimated. Now, even though the extra bonus damage doesn't actually affect... Oh, it does affect them. Yeah, it is infantry and cavalry. Basically not siege, I guess. Oh, those archers are going to have a hard time defending that position. That is for sure. Beasty moving on forward. Now, Sormeon only has 8 military, 93 population in terms of villager count. Looking pretty dicey. And Xiaoji, they're going to move further forward and snipe out everything else. I think he one-shots these Camel Lancers, doesn't he? Oh, the Xiaoji are focusing on the villagers for now. Looking to get some gold as he can. He's taking out the forward base here, Beasty, so looking in really good spot now. Oh wait, he's doing it! He's going to go for the traps! He's going to build the traps with the Xiaoji. The Xiaoji laying the traps. And also the crossbows. The villagers... Oh no. Oh no. Oh god. Guys, that's actually funny. Oh, the camels, they're going to run into it. Go, go, go. Oh, he ran right through them. Unfortunately, that was unfortunate. I really want to see some of those. Some of the traps being set off. Either way, the forward production going to be taken down, unfortunately. Is he going to send some more traps? I think he has. I guess he can't build them on the farms, right? He has to build it just on the edges of it. He's got, yeah, where the villagers have to drop it off to the TC. That's the perfect spot, right? That's got to be. That's got to detonate. Bear in mind, does 30 damage in that radius, so it's going to affect the other villagers. Oh god, there we go. Either way, the tap out comes on in. I think we saw a bit of the explosion anyway. We see the weaker villager, the HP reduced. But I hope you guys enjoyed this cast game, this featuring of the Vietnamese, played by none other than beastyqt. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. More importantly, subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed it. Take care, and see you next time.